Hi, welcome. My name is Dale McCluskey, and I'd like to take a few minutes to talk about the issue of influence type, the type of influence, how learning theory is used to attempt to modify behavior, and what's really going on below the surface with appearances, because what I show is appearances can be very deceiving, especially when trainers are making certain assumptions of just how a dog moves around, based on going through the motions or responding to certain motivating agents, and to look at how the dog's mind is going, and what direction it's heading, but how it's coming through, which role response is actually coming through, whether it's coming through weakness, meaning that the type of influence that's established or happening is just based on the owner still being objectified, or whether it's coming through the strength of the lead role, where the handler dog owner has meaningful influence over the dog's mind. And there's a big difference between the two, and oftentimes trainers are unable to qualify which one it is. And I show very clearly that nature provides the clues to that. When you see the level of a dog's mind separating away, or you see the unwanted behavior issues happening, those are the clues. That is the test. How a dog is reacting to influence being put over the mind, meaningful influence being put over the mind. So so this whole issue about rewarding or marking behavior through clickers or through treats, or through verbal with good boy or good girl, that oftentimes we're not looking at the overall how a dog is perceiving the dog owner within the context of the relationship itself, what the end goal is. Because what happens is, even say for example with the leash, when you take your leash out and the dog's tail is wagging, oftentimes we just think, well, the dog's happy to go on the walk, when really in reality the dog's mind pivots off these roles, and within that context is the dog is saying, I own the walk. Okay, what's happening is the dog owner is actually being toll booth, I call it, where it's just like the dog is sticking a quarter in the toll booth so they can get to point A to point B, but they perceive the dog owner as merely a means to an end, a pathway to get what they want. The dog owner is being objectified within that context of that interaction. So there's the dog owner, there's no meaningful influence happening through that. There's elements of control happening. And this is the whole issue about control, itself, whether you're controlling or whether meaningful influence is happening. Whether you're just kind of have built walls and fences and you're containing a problem, or whether or not you're actually fixing the problem through the role changing process. How do you create that based on on this connection on how you're thinking, and so when you're when you see a dog moving around, you have to step back and say, what is the dog? Where is the dog's mind within not just that moment, but how is the dog perceiving the dog owner within the context of the relationship itself? Because it's interrelational. It's a personal relationship. It's connection. It's nature. So it's just like the same context of of parents and their children. What are the perceptions? Is the child selfish and narcissistic, and just they just see the parent as a pathway to get what they want, and that challenges the whole issue about love itself. Even with I talk about dog owners and this type of connection they have, where they claim that they love their dogs, but is it a type of love that's just self-focused, and how the dog can meet their own needs, how they're projecting emotion onto the dog, or is it the type of love that is able to overcome issues and say, I'm going to role change my dog, and it's deeper. It's commitment, and it goes deeper and it's further. because the problem here is that the type of permissive psychology that's at work that really the dog perceives this as weakness. And so this is a very, very difficult issue, and what's happening here with so many trainers is they're not looking beyond response. You know, they're not testing it, they're not qualifying it, they're not asking the tough questions, saying, you know, what is the standard? You know, is the dog moving around but still holding on to the lead role in the relationship? And how do I test that? You know, how do I, you know, are the unwanted behavior issues, are they going away? You know, when I'm walking my dog, is the dog still trying to go after other dogs and squirrels and people? You know, is the dog expressing those states of mind? Well, if the dog is, then role change has not happened at the level needed. You know, maybe happening at some level, but you know, and so even these other training methods that go into this, using no force options and you know, and nothing in life for free. You know, when you're stopping and just making the dog wait, you know, is that dog? Yes, you're presenting a certain you know, certain element of control there, but is it direct and meaningful enough to elicit change? You know, and that's why when you look at my methods, when I do them, you know, it's the goal here, the intent of my methodology is to make sure role change happens. It's direct and meaningful. You know, I'm putting that, moving the tachometer of the dog owner's mind over, so to bring them in competition to take the lead role and to guarantee that it happens. Because what's happening here is so many dog owners are just making assumptions, and they're going towards these weak and permissive systems of training, and they're assuming because it looks good and it feels good, therefore the dog must be becoming a better citizen, a better behaved dog, and that is not the case in many times. It is not, and people are investing time, they're wasting money, and only to find out when they go home with their dog that nothing has truly changed at the core level. And so this whole system is based on making sure meaningful change happens, that it moves beyond controlling a problem to fixing it. And so, you know, the next time you see a dog you know, responding or looking a certain way, never assume anything based on appearances. And the problem here is you know, depending on how you think, nature will just give you enough to allow you to sink and allow you to stay within this loop that you can't break out of. And this whole system is based on breaking people out of this way of thinking, to move them beyond limited results and failure, to help them overcome everything. This whole system of training is based on winning, not losing. And so, again, if you're interested in finding out more information, you can contact me anytime. I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. And again, my book called Beyond the Leash, Dog Psychology Training Guide, it's available through Amazon Kindle, Barnes & Noble, or directly through my website. This book here certainly can help you on your journey towards creating a mutually happy and rewarding relationship with your dog. So thanks very much for watching. I hope you have a great day.